The question.
Yeah, it's okay. Read the question.
So 3 cos half of
Three
alpha
cos half of alpha
minus 4 sine half of alpha
is equal to
5
is equal to 5. For alpha,
for negative 4 pi
for negative 4 pi
less than or equal to alpha greater than or equal to 4 pi.
I think it's supposed to be less than or equal to again. So there is our first challenging number, guys. If you also have your own, have it ready. When we are done with this one, we look at another one. So to start with, the question was saying, was it to use alpha or it was open? Was it to use other formula or it is open? Or it is in the other exercise?
So it wasn't, you're the one who sent this number to us on group.
Okay. Now, this number can be solved using different methods. I'm going to try it out using the other formula and the T formula. Where other formula can sit, also T formula can, unless if they have specified it. So because I'm seeing a subtraction here on the sign, I can let R cos of theta plus the angle, which is a half alpha, be equal to 3 cos a half alpha minus 4 sine a half alpha. So that when I expand on the left-hand side, I'll realize R cos of theta, cos of a half alpha, minus R sine of theta, sine of a half alpha. So those of you who had crammed the alpha in other formula, you can, if they give you a question in terms of alpha, use another angle. You can even use X. It's going to be equal to 3 cos a half alpha minus 4 sine a half alpha. It is from here that we can do comparisons. We can compare R cos alpha with 3 cos a half alpha. So R cos theta is equal to 3. So with that, R cos theta is equal to 3, equation 1. Then R sine theta is going to be equal to 4, equation 2. So it is from here that one can be in position to say that tan of theta by dividing Roman 2 by Roman 1 is equal to 4 out of 3. And I told you can always use the Pythagoras theorem to find out the value of R by saying this is 4, this is 3, this is 5. Always what is here is the R. Therefore, R is equal to 5 and theta is equal to what angle? I think it is 53.13. Is that it? Someone confirm the answer.
So it's that one.
Okay. If it is 53.13, then we can have this expressed in terms of R. So R cos of theta plus a half of alpha will become 5 cos of 53.13 plus a half alpha. With this, you can see that, remember this was equal to the whole of this expression. So the whole of it is supposed to be equal to 5. So R cos 53.13 plus a half alpha is going to be equal to 5. But remember, R was also equal to 5, so I divide by 5 on both sides, and I'll have cos 53.13 plus a half alpha is equal to 1. With this, you can see that 53.13 plus a half alpha is equal to cos inverse of 1 is what? 0. Not so. Other angles, 360. Other angles, negative 360. Another one, 720. Another one, negative 720, etc. So our F alpha can be got from negative 53.13, comma 360 minus 53.13. What do you get? 306.87. Then 53.13 minus negative 360, you get a negative 413.13. The 720 is way beyond the revolutions we want, so we shall have alpha is equal to a negative 106.26. When you multiply these two, you will get 600 what? 613.74, a negative. Then you multiply the other one by 2, you get negative 826.26. Okay. Now, according to the question, 4 theta is what? There's a reason why I think they gave this number in this form. 4 theta is 2 theta is 360. 4 theta is 720. So it stops there. Whereas if you're to check the positives are beyond 720. I did not confirm the 720, but let me check on the 720. 720 minus 53.13. 720 minus 53.13. What do you get? So this is a positive, sorry. Then this is a negative. When you say 720 minus 53.13, what answer do you get? You get 600. 600 what?
666.87.
0.87. When you multiply it by 2, you get 1,000.
1,133.7.
333.74. This is beyond. So the only options we have are these two. Okay. But those two have one challenge. Yeah. Those two are in terms of degrees. They want the answer in radians because the range was in radians. So negative 106.26 degrees is going to be equivalent to pi out of 180 degrees times negative 106.26 degrees. What answer do we get? In terms of pi. In terms of pi, a negative 0 point something. 106.26 divided by 180. And the other one?
Negative 0.59.
Negative 0.59 pi. Then this other one will be 613.74 divided by 180. What do you get?
3.41.
3.41 pi. So that is our solution set. Now, someone also could have used maybe sine rather than having what? Cos. But according to me, I had used cos. Someone could have used sine. If someone uses sine, no, if you use sine, the sign has a negative. It's impossible. Sine starts with a positive alpha. Okay. Yeah, you can see you can use sine. Someone could have said, or if you let r sine theta minus a half alpha. This would be r sine theta cos a half alpha minus r sine a half alpha cos of theta. Then this will be in line with 3 cos a half alpha minus 4 sine a half alpha. Remember, it is 5. So this way it will also be equal to r sine theta minus a half alpha. In comparison, you will have r sine theta being equal to 3, and then r cos theta being equal to 4. Then tan of theta would be 3 out of 4, which is still giving us 3, 4. This will be 5. This will be theta. So still r will be 5. So r is the same for whatever method you're using. But what theta do you get now? Should be 30 what? 36 point.
$36.9. No, sorry, 36.87.
Yeah. So it means we are having 5 sine of theta, which is 36.87 minus a half alpha is equal to 5. So with that, we can say 5 sine of 36.87 minus a half alpha is equal to 5. The 5 reduces to 1. So shift sine inverse of 1, you get sine of 36.87 minus a half alpha is equal to 1. 36.87 minus a half alpha is equal to 90. So if it is equal to 90, then a half alpha is equal to 36.87 minus 90. But before 90, other angles that give us 1 are what? Remember, all students take cocaine. 90 is here, 0, 90. 360 plus 90, you get 450. Okay, so we shall have we have 90, we have a negative 270, we have 450. Okay, so that when you subtract, you get a half alpha is going to be equal to 53.13. When the 270 crosses over, 270 plus 306, 270 plus 36.87, you get 306.87 positive. Then when 450 enters in there, you'll get 450 minus 36.87. 36.87 has a balance of 3.13. So 3.13, I mean 13.13. So this one gives us 413.13, a negative. So you cross all these angles over and you move the alpha this way as these angles go that way. So at the end of the day, we shall have alpha is equal to 106. This is a negative. Negative 106.13. 600 and what? And 13.74. This is a negative 826.26 out of the range. So still we get the same answers, and then you convert them to radians, which still give us the same answers as 0.59 pi, a negative, and the 3.41 pi, hashtag same answer. So we shall always get the same result, whether you have used sine or whether you have used what? Cos. So that has helped us get a review of what we did last week, unless if someone has another question. If I can go for maximum and minimum. Any other question? So if there is no further question, you can ask your question like in this form. Maximum and minimum values. Find the maximum and minimum of the 2 sine theta minus 5 cos theta and the corresponding values of theta between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. Someone says, please teach your first page. I haven't taken a screenshot. Okay, there you go, Josh. So here we are. The question wants us to find the maximum and the minimum values. Okay? Maximum and minimum values of that function. To start with, you have to let 2 sine of theta minus 5 cos of theta be equal to R. Yeah. For example, sine of theta minus alpha. Then you go for the same procedure. Root 2. Can you compare for me the coefficients of sine theta? Root 2, Leila?
Yes, teacher.
Compare for me the coefficients of sine theta.
Sine theta is equal to 2.
Are you sure? Sine theta is equal to 2, how? I want you to compare the coefficient. I told you coefficients are the values attached to sine theta. If this is sine theta, the coefficient is whatever is attached to sine theta. Now all of this is the coefficient of sine theta. So compare for me the coefficients of sine theta on both sides and give me their relationship.
Well, cos theta. Cos theta.
Cos theta. Leila, are you understanding what I'm saying? Are you eating? I hear like as if you're eating. You know, if you're eating and you're having breakfast right now and we are studying, you cannot be in position to follow up very easy. According to what you're saying, let me first forgive you. Maria Akankwasa, coefficients of sine theta. Maria, what is wrong with these women?
Yeah, teacher, on the other side, I think it's 2. Then
That is the left-hand side, huh?
it's R.
Only R. Is it only R that is multiplying the sine theta? When I write something, when I write something like this, this is the same as having R. Just put this in bracket everywhere. When you put it in brackets, whatever is outside its bracket is its coefficient. So Maria, how much is it? Jesse. Jesse? Swali, where is Swali? Swali, are you there? Swali, Swali?
Yes, teacher.
Hey, give me the coefficient on the right-hand side on sine theta. Okay, what is attached to sine theta on the right-hand side?
R cos alpha.
R cos alpha. Oh, my mathematics language is the one confusing people. Mase, give me the coefficient on cos theta. Mase? Yes.
Is equal to R sine alpha.
R sine alpha. Lutuleida, have you seen what we have interpreted?
Yes, teacher.
Akakwasa Maria, have you also seen?
Yes, teacher.
So what happens ideally, guys, like I've said, whatever is on this This is the sine theta. So the coefficients are this one, supposed to be equal to r and cos alpha. Then when you come to cos theta, it's the same cos theta here. The coefficient on it is r sine alpha, and here it's what? 5. So for that reason, we can now divide Roman 2 divided by Roman 1. Shall acquire tan alpha is equal to 5 out of 2. Still using Pythagoras theorem. If this is alpha, this will be 5, this will be 2, this will be root of 29. So r is root of 29. Someone confirm alpha.
$68.199.
68.19. Okay, 68.2. Now, what does that imply? It implies that 2 sine of theta minus 5 cos of theta is equal to root of 29 sine of theta minus 68.2. Okay? So if that is the case, for the maximum value, of the expression, you look for the maximum of 29 sine of theta minus 68.2. But what varies is the sine ratio. So look for the maximum of this one. And because it is varying, the maximum of the varying ratio of sine, the maximum value of sine can only reach what? 1. So in that case, you can confirm and say sine of theta minus 68.2 degrees is maximum when it is equal to 1. Therefore, root of 29 times 1 is equal to root of 29 is the maximum value of the expression. Then for the minimum, you will have root of 29 sine of theta minus 68.2. The whole of this one should be minimized because it is varying. The 29 is a constant. So look for its minimum. The minimum value of sine as it varies throughout given revolutions, the minimum value of sine is what? What is the minimum value of sine? Esther, what is the smallest value of sine? Nelda, Monica, what is the smallest value of sine? Monica, are you people there?
Sure.
What's the smallest value of sine? If we have seen the maximum is positive 1, then the smallest is? There is Christine Aineviona. Celestine, not Christine, Celestine. Aineviona, you have everything. Give us the answer. Am I finishing all the names? Tasnim, Madina. What is the minimum value of sine? The smallest value of sine? Remember, I told you those graphs. Better go and look at the graph. Where the peaks are, we have the maximum and minimum. So if the maximum value of sine is 1, then the minimum value of sine is, Joshua?
-1.
-1, thank you. Therefore, root of 29 times -1 is going to be equal to a negative root of 29 is the minimum value. So the minimum values are always those values of R. One is positive, one is negative. Now, sometimes they even ask you, find out the angles at which they occur. Yeah? Find the values of theta for which the maximum value occurs. Find the angle of theta for which the minimum value occurs. This knowledge also, we discussed it earlier in trigonometry where we had maximum and minimum values. So it is back. So for maximum, we have seen root of 29 sine of theta minus what? 68.2. This was maximum. So the maximum value of sine we have confirmed is 1, okay? So get the inverse, theta minus 68.2 occurs at 90 degrees. But the theta there is supposed to be 90 plus 68.2. So it occurs at 158.2 degrees. Okay? So that is the angle at which it occurs. Now, that is what the angle at which the maximum value occurs. How about the minimum? For the minimum value, we have seen it was root of 29 sine of theta minus 68.2, and this was minimum. So sine of theta minus 68.2 minimum we saw as equal to -1. So get the ratio and find the inverse of -1. So theta minus 68.2 is equal to 270 degrees. So it is from here that we confirm that the angle of theta that gives us the minimum value of the function is 270 plus 68.2. Therefore, theta is equal to 338.2 degrees. So minimum occurs at 38.2, maximum occurs at 158.2. So as it varies, you can find out the value of theta which predicts the maximum value, and you also can predict the value of theta which predicts the minimum value. Unless if someone has a question there. Otherwise, if no question, you can have another example. Which says express y, which is equal to 8 cos x plus 6 sine of x in a form of r cos x minus alpha. Here they have commanded you are using cos, where r is positive and alpha is acute. Hence, find the maximum and the minimum of 1 out of 8 cos x plus 6 sine x plus 15. Now you're finding for me the first part, that is to express it in terms of R, cos X minus alpha. So start working on that. You have 5 minutes. By 10, it should be done. Express it in R form by getting the value of R and the value of alpha.